Alright, I'm going to do demo 31 now, and we're still going over the date object. So my web page is called 31.html, and you see the output over here to the right. This is after I pushed the button and the function was called and it did its output. So let's look at the web page code. There's the doc type declaration, there's the opening HTML tag, closing HTML tag at the bottom. There's the head. This is all the same as the previous video. Got this exact same internal style, the exact same link. Well, actually, it's not the exact same link. It's the JavaScript link that links us to 31.javascript. The last one was obviously 30.javascript. Here's the link to the external style sheet called style.css. We have a new title, Demo 31-Date Object, that shows up here in the browser tab. And then we have the link to the smile.ico shortcut icon right here in the tab as well, the little smiley face. What is different? Let's see. Style, there's the end of the head, there's the body. Wrapper's the same. It's got the changed style here. Left is the same as it was in Demo 30. Button. I changed it from the ID of G with a green background to the ID of Y with a yellow background. OnClick equals 1 because we have a unique JavaScript that it's attaching itself or linking to. So we can use the same function name because it's referring to a different external sheet. This time on the face of the button we have the words date object, a couple break tags, go down a couple spaces and dashes. That's the same as before. There's the end of the button, and for the paragraph element underneath in this darker yellow, almost a mustard color, we changed the ID from demo 1 to demo 5. So again, the button, instead of being demo ID equals G for green and a P with it, instead of ID 1, we've changed the button to ID Y for yellow and ID demo 5 because in the style sheet demo 5 has this dark yellow mustard color. Style equals display block is the exact same thing, and the dashes just to indicate where the new output will show up. I still have those for both the button and the paragraph element. End left, end wrapper, and body, end HTML. Okay, so not a whole lot of changes at all going on with the page itself. Let's look at the function. Function 1, I'm going to do the same thing that I did in function 1 of the 30.js JavaScript file, but I'm going to create an MP3, which when I first click the button, there's going to be an alert box, and I'm going to read a short information of the alert box. So once I click the button, the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to play that MP3, and at the same time the alert's going to show up. This is what I'm going to read. Hello, don't forget the date object is not a string data type. If you need to convert it to a string data type in order to use methods char at index hover slice, do this. And then I go down a couple of spaces with \n and I show var date string equals right now dot to string. That's just an example. You can name it anything you want. Now, after the alert box, when you click OK, then these two lines of code will execute. The name of my MP3, the variable that holds that, will be using the dot operator pause to pause it, and then next it will use the dot current time equals 0 to set that back to the beginning of that MP3. So when I created the MP3, I named it date obj, short for date object.mp3, and I set it to this variable called snd underscore date underscore obj for sound date object for short. So everywhere that you see this green variable, it's going to be referring to this MP3 that I created, which again is just me reading this. Alright, at that point we have, this is the same thing that we did with the previous demo. We create, this time we're going to create two arrays. We have the month names array like demo 30 did, exact same way to create an array, and it's for all of the months. In line 14 we're going to create a day names array so that we have the names of all of the days of the week as well. So we have our month names array and then all these array elements, and then we have var day names array and we have all the names of those elements. In line 17, we have var x equals new date. So we're creating a new date object, and we are using the variable x to refer to it. That's called the object reference variable. Now here, we're creating a bunch of variables because we're going to use that object reference variable x with a dot operator, and we're going to use all these different methods that the date object utilizes. We're going to use get month. Again, that's going to give us a number, a numeric value, and that numeric value is going to go in here. We're going to use the dot get day, which is also going to give us a numeric value, and that number is going to go here. We are going to use get date, which is going to give us, let me double check, get date. I lost my page. Is going to give us the day of the month. So like today is the 6th. So that will over here shows July 6th. It's going to show us that part. Get full year is going to give us 2016. Get hours will give us hours in 24-hour format. Get minutes will give us a value from 0 to 59. Get seconds will give us a value from 0 to 59. This get time is strange because it's going to give us a value of milliseconds since midnight January 1st of 1970. And I'm not sure what is so special about that particular date. I guess I could Google that and figure it out. Maybe I learned it in the past in a college class, but I just don't remember what the value of 1970 is. And I created that variable. I just gave it the name since 1970. Again, these variables here are month number, day number, today, year, HR for hour, MIN for minute, SEC for second. You can name these anything you want. The variable names is all up to you, but it makes sense to name them something that you're going to realize what it's for. Alright, so I created all these variables from here to here, and I used x as the object reference variable, the dot operator, and then all these different methods to get different values. So all of these are going to run and do their thing. Here we're going to do the conversion. Var month name equals, now here I'm going to call that array month names array that I created way up here, and I am going to use month number as the index that will point to whichever one that we're talking about, and we're currently talking about July. So this is going to give me the actual word July instead of the number 6, and it's going to go into month name. Line 33 is going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to use the day names array, and we are going to use the value of day number as the index there, and that will pull out whatever the current day of the week is and put that name instead of number into this variable called day name. Further down on line 37, I'm going to take the ID of Y, which is the button up here with the light yellow. It's the ID for that button, y.enter HTML. The string today is with a space plus day name, the value of the day name, which you can see up here is Wednesday. We're going to add a comma and a space in the double quotes for that string concatenation. Then we're going to concatenate the value of month name, which you see after the comma and the space here, you see July, plus a space in double quotes, plus the value of today, which is the full year, 2016, plus a comma and a space again. Oh, I'm sorry, plus year. Today is get date. That's the 6th. Get day is going to give us July. Get date is going to give us 6. Get full year is going to give us 2016. All right, so that's going to be the output for the bright yellow button face. Then down here, demo5.enter.html will have the string the time is plus the value of hour, which we got here, x.getHours. We're putting it in the HR variable, plus a semicolon in quotes, plus the value of min for minutes, plus a colon, plus the value of sec for seconds, and then we're going to string on this big long in 24-hour format. A couple of break tags will move us down as a couple lines, and we're going to have some more text. And get time gives you the number of milliseconds that have elapsed since midnight January 1st, 1970. And finally, we're going to concatenate the value of the variable since 1970 that we achieved by using x.getTime. and that went into that variable called since 1970. All right, so I went over all of the code for the function, and let me start this, refresh the page and start all over again. Alright, so refresh the page and this is all you get. Date object, the button with date object on it, and some dashes. I click it. Okay. I had to hit mute because I heard me reading this and I didn't want to have to hear that right now. So this just says, hello, don't forget the date object is not a string data type. If you need to convert to string data type in order to use methods char, add index, over slice, do this. And then I gave an example of what to do to change it to a string value if you do want to use those methods. Once you click OK, so this ran, this played it. Actually, this just took the MP3 and put it into this variable. This played it. Here's the alert box. And then as soon as I click OK, line 7 and 8 are going to execute. It's going to pause that MP3 and reset it to 0. Then down here, we've created this array and this array so that we will have the actual string values of the month and the string values of the names. Instead of using numeric, it'll give us that output. Here we're creating the new date object and setting it in a variable called x. Here we're doing all of these methods on the date object and setting them to new variable names for the values. Get month, get day, get date, get full year, get hours, get minutes, get seconds, and get time. Then we're going to do our conversions here in line 32 and 33 by using the name of the array and the value, the numeric value for an index. It's going to spit out the actual month name instead of the number here. And here we're doing the same thing with the array for the days, using the value of day number for the index to give us what the actual day name is. And down here in line 37, we're going to spit it out in here, y.innerhtml. Today is Wednesday, July 6, 2016. Today is day name plus month name plus space plus comma plus year. And finally, demo5.innerhtml, which is the paragraph section here at the bottom. The time is plus hour plus minute plus second. The time is 16:31:8 in 24-hour format. Now, when I hit refresh and run this again, because you don't see the seconds continuously ticking, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. So as I'm sitting here going blah, 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 the time isn't changing. But if I hit refresh, click it again, click OK, then you see the updated time. It stops as soon as you click it and it pulls that time. This stays frozen. So this is not the kind of code if you want to show the seconds moving and the time constantly changing every second. I'll do that video in the future. Right now this is just a static time. And then let's see, a couple break tags so that we go down a couple spaces and spit out the last line of code. The text says, and get time gives you the number of milliseconds that have elapsed since midnight, January 1st, 1970, and plus since 1970. We have this long number 1467837177995. Let's see if you remember 77995. Let's refresh this, run it again, and you see how 77995 has changed to 34854. This whole numeric value of milliseconds has changed. Alright, so that concludes this video that goes into a little more detail about the JavaScript date object.